everybody's scampering to their places.
Here, why don't you hold on to that? It's on.
Hello. Good morning. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Father's Day. Okie dokie. How's everybody today?
Good.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any newcomers with us today? Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Would you like to stand up and introduce yourself?
Sure.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mary Beth, and I've been in Flat Rock for about a month. I moved down from Syracuse, New York, to get away from the weather.
When it snowed in May.
So far, so good. I'm really happy to be here.
All right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We have other newcomers over here?
My name is Donna Andrews. I'm just visiting. Hi, y'all.
And the mic went with.
Yes.
It's harder.
Okay, I'm using this one. Okay, everybody probably is aware that Charlotte's mom went flying over the weekend, soaring with Kermit. And we have an envelope. Is it on the front desk?
Yes.
Jerry, where are you? It's on the front desk if you would like to make a contribution for flowers that we will send from her Namaste Soul family. So that'll be right over there. And let's see. What do we have coming up this week? On Monday, we have our usual fair. All this is listed on your bulletins. John and Ray will be here on Tuesday. Animal communication, pet project. Wednesday is the summer solstice fire circle over by the sanctuary at Highland Lake Cove. These fire circles are amazing. So if you're free, I highly encourage you to come.
And this Wednesday is a potluck following the fire circle as well, that Bill and Mark are going to be grilling out some chicken, so bring a salad. So after the fire circle, it will be there. Meet here at 4:30, 4:45, and we'll carpool over there for 5 o'clock for those who do not know how to get there. And there is parking available.
Isn't it, it's not at the sanctuary, isn't it at our fire service?
It is at the Namaste Fire Circle.
Sorry about that.
The Namaste Fire Circle.
Okay.
Yep. There is parking available there now, so those of you who know how to get there, you can go on your own. I will put up some signs as well to kind of help you remember where that first turn is, especially. So, thanks.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you. Okay. There will be no Paramahansa Yogananda group this week, but hopefully we'll be back up and running, if not next week, soon. Let's see. Coming up on this Friday night and an all-day workshop on Saturday, Lyndon Harris is going to be doing a workshop on forgiveness. And I know that word conjures up all kinds of things, but there are so many different dimensions to forgiveness and understanding what it means, and Lyndon's going to help us do that. So I highly encourage you to participate in this. Lyndon is a magnificent speaker, a former Episcopal priest, and just an amazing man. So I highly recommend that one. Let's see. Oh, Laura.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Are we on for June 27th for the
Yes.
film?
Yes,
Okay.
it has arrived, we have it.
Would you like to say a few words?
I don't know very much about it. It's just the new movie by Dr. Greer. It's called Unacknowledged, and it's supposed to be fantastic about things that we haven't been told that are reality.
Oh, reality check.
You can Google it.
Google it. Is the recommendation.
And it's
Okay.
a $5 donation, and we have organic popcorn.
Okay, thank you. Susan, do you want me to make a mention? Sure. Okay. Coming up on June 29th is a color therapy workshop with Susan Marie Vinci. And if you have never been to one of Susan's classes, buckle up. I'm not kidding. There'll be so much more information than about color. This will be about sound and frequencies and all kinds of amazing things. So mark your calendars. That's 1 o'clock on June 29th. July 2nd will be the Namaste 4th of July picnic. Susan, that will also be, hello. Hi.
Oh, that's gonna be at the fire pit.
At the fire pit, okay. A new group is starting on July 5th with Julie O'Connell Constantine. It's a women's peer support group, 4 to 5:30. And there'll be more information on that in the newsletter. So stay tuned for late-breaking developments on that one. My understanding is that it's essentially designed for women of all ages, and as we reach midlife and beyond, our issues change and become different. So this will be a support group for women to support each other during many life transitions that start to really pile up later in life, or early in life, depending upon where you're at. Okay. And Brian will be doing a crop circles presentation on July 8th, accompanied by the music of Aurora Fox. Okay.
She's had surgery, she's better now.
Good.
Oh, yes, yeah, okay. Okay.
Is Ed going to be doing his primordial sound healing?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, that would be on June 25th, if he does that.
Yeah. I'm not sure. He's out of town, and I'm not quite sure when he'll be back. Okay. Are there any other announcements? Anything that I have?
Yes. Can I just,
I just wanted to let everyone know about our I Am box. And I know it seems so, like it's not very important, but it is really important. The I Am ministry has moved to a new building on the other side of town, and they're taking in all kinds of donations, food donations, clothing donations. And as I started getting involved with this, I get their newsletter, and it just touched my heart so deeply, because I read that a couple walk all the way from Zirconia to Hendersonville every week just to get their food. And I'm like, really? I don't know, I guess I've been out of touch. I didn't think the need was that great, but it is that great. So we have a box over here, and you can bring canned goods, whatever you want. There's a listing of what they ask for each month, but you can bring anything, and it'd be so appreciated. So thank you.
Kelly,
Yes.
Could you let people know what the I Am Ministry is really all about as far as, like, is Carson here?
She's not.
Because they actually, one of the things is they make sure that families that are really in need, that not just anybody can walk in and get any of the, like, the clothing or anything. They actually goes to people in need in this community and around. So that's just what I wanted to say.
Yeah, it's been around for quite a long time, and they do a whole screening process, but they do a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
and
they do.
Feed a lot of people and
Yeah.
clothe a lot of people. So there's a great need in Henderson County. You know, I didn't know it was that intense, but it
Yeah.
is. So anyway, if you would bring something to donate, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have any further announcements? Alrighty then. So, shall we sing the Light of God?
Yeah, let's do that.
Why don't we raise the roof here?
Okay.
The words are on the back of your bulletin here. So, Light of God, here we go. I'll sing with the night.
Who's gonna get us going?
God is in me, and it shines right out my eyes, making me a part of everything in the earth and sea and sky. And it makes me feel so happy, just to know I'm not alone. 'Cause when you're part of everything, everywhere is your home. There's a light that shines within you, and it's with you every day, bringing love to everybody in the things you do and say. It's the reason that you're living. It's the force that drives you on. It's the stars up in the heavens. It's your morning sun. Oh, the light of God is in me, and it shines right out my eyes, making me a part of everything in the earth and sea and sky. And it makes me feel so happy, just to know I'm not alone. 'Cause when you're a part of everything, everywhere is your home. Everywhere is your home.
One more thing that I neglected to do. I would like to welcome back Diane Seville, who has been recovering, and it is so wonderful to have you back. You're welcome home. Welcome. Okay. Vicki has something that she has written for her dad, and she's going to share that with us now. No, you're up. Okay.
Would it be better if you use this mic rather than holding something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted, since it's Father's Day, I had a very significant experience a few years ago, and I wanted to share this with you. I recently, a book was published called Dreams That Change Our Lives, and for 30 years I've been writing down my dreams, and I use that as a tool for spiritual growth and learning from them. And so they published one of my dreams, and it involved with my father. And in 2013, he passed away from bladder cancer, and he had he probably actually his heart gave out, because he was so weak. But I'll give you just a short little background first. He was never emotionally present for us in the family, kind of like an absentee father, you would say. And he had kind of a difficult childhood in the sense that when he was like about 12 or 13 or so, they came from a family of 10, and it was during the Depression years and all that. And he had a brother named Richard who he was very close to, who was a few years younger than him. And they were playing outside one day, and they got called in for dinner. And my dad, being he was the oldest boy in the family, and it was kind of his responsibility to look after some of the younger ones. And Richard was up in a tree, and they were trying to get him to come down from the tree, and he was like not wanting to come down, for dinner. And so what happened was finally he jumped down, and he jumped into a rose bush. And so he got a lot of thorns, in him. And at that time, this would have been like in the 1930s, or maybe 40, but late 30s, I think, at that time. They didn't, the doctor would be like, come out to your house, and they didn't bring the doctor out. They didn't think it was that serious. And so he died of gangrene like a week later. So my father, and it was his closest, brother. So unfortunately, my grandmother blamed my father for his death because he was, to be looking after him. And so at that point, my father lost not only his brother, but his mother, in a sense, And he carried that with him, as an emotional pain his whole life. And then he got into trouble. His grandpa took him down to Texas and for a while to get away from the family. If you were a troublemaker at some point, they send you away at that time, They didn't, it was like an embarrassment to the family. So his middle teen years he spent down in Texas, and they were camping, just living in tents with my grandfather. And he was like made fun of at the school because he lived in a tent, And so finally he came back, and at that time World War II broke out. We were getting involved in the war. And so at 17 he signed up for he told him he was 18, and he signed up for the Navy, and he went into World War II. And then after that, the Korean War. So he saw a lot, in his life, and he had some pain from all of that he carried. And so I know that's why he didn't have the emotional ability, the ability to really show a lot of emotion and love. So, and I'll read this little, what they published in this dream I had, and I actually had the dream, this was, about a month after he died, and he died in August of 2013, and he was, I guess he was about 88, or somewhere around there, okay. The dream is called Beyond What Appears to Be, okay. I came from a family of 6 children, and my parents were raised during the Depression era. My father was in World War II and also the Korean War. He was a very emotionally distant person, and I do not remember him ever telling me that he loved me while I was growing up. I actually was afraid of his big bare voice as a child and avoided him at times. In August of 2013, he went into hospice due to bladder cancer. I went up to Indiana to see him, and he died the day after I arrived. Now, a side note here, when I went up to visit him, I had a poem that I had written, and it was actually about lucid dreaming, and it seemed very appropriate to read to him at that time when he was in hospice because he was getting ready to exit and go on some great adventures. And so I read it to him, and and the next morning, we got the phone call from the hospice that said he had passed on. And so I'm hoping maybe it helped with the transition in some way. About a month later, I had the following dream. I am what appears to be a hospice room. My dad is deceased, lying on a queen bed. He has a pair of pajamas on. I have a pair of scissors in my hand, and I start cutting along the seams of one of the pajama pant legs. Then I decide to leave the room. I go to the door and look back at him lying in the bed. I see that he has started breathing. I think, oh my God, he's alive. I go closer to the bed and I say, Dad, and there's no response, but he's still breathing. And I say, Dad, a little bit louder, no response, but he's breathing. This time I say, I yell it really loud, Dad. and the third time, he abruptly sits up in bed with a startled look on his face, and he looks like he's like in his 40s. By this time, I'm right at the edge of the bed. He leans over to me, and he embraces me with the most warm, loving hug I've ever received in my life. And at this point, tears are running down my face in the dream. And I tell him that I love him. I tell him that I read the poem to him so that he wouldn't have to stay, that he could go to the light. And then he just makes these sighing noises as we embrace. And then I wake up. And I wake up and I'm like tears in my eyes. So this dream was a real gift from him to me. And I had to cut away at what seemed to be my dad. I was cutting along the pajama legs of his pajamas, because I sit and I interpret things afterwards a lot of times, to get to the real spiritual being of my dad underneath. It gave me a higher viewpoint about my dad, and I realized the inherent beauty that we all have as soul. I mean, I knew it on a mental level, but the dream kind of really drove it home to me. Many of us walk around in life with an outer shell of protection, which are like the pajamas, that we shut down emotions that make us feel more vulnerable. These outer appearances often never let us get a glimpse of the true love and compassion we naturally have as spiritual beings. This dream made up for 45 years I experienced of a dad who rarely showed loving emotions and affection while living in his physical body. And I just want to say thank you, Dad, for this gift. And I wanted to read the poem. It's called When You Close Your Eyes. Where will you go, adventurous soul, when you close your eyes? What worlds await you, what dream doors open when you close your eyes? Will you soar in the stars, travel to Mars? Where will you go, adventurous soul, when you close your eyes? Are you even really here, or is this the dream? What marvels will await you on the other side tonight? Will you dance in a valley or travel the sea? Meet yourself in lucid dreams? The choice is yours, so choose your dream. Where will you go, adventurous soul, when you close your eyes?
Wow.
That was great.
Beautiful, Vicki.
Yeah.
Do you need this?
Just for a sec.
Hello. Okay, hi. Mark, where are you? You're up.
Thank you. I'm all emotional now. I just gotta tell you. Thank you for that. Just want to say Happy Father's Day to everybody, and I think whatever version of your childhood you had, there's gifts that are presented in all types of relationships with your mother and father. And I'm gifted with a beautiful son. Thank you, Jennifer. And I think I had a pretty dysfunctional childhood too. My dad was really not, I guess he was present physically, but not emotionally. But the one gift that he gave me is to show me, to act as a mirror of who I wanted to be as a father and who I could be as a father. And maybe if I had a second chance where he had a second chance, he would present himself differently, because I knew he was always doing the best he could. So I guess today, I think a lot of times for Father's Day, it means a lot of things for a lot of people. For me, it's a time of healing and joy, to remember the best things about my dad. He's still alive, still grumpy as ever. You know, I hug him and I'll say, "I love you, Dad," and he's like, "Mm-hmm." You know, and one time about 7 years ago, he actually said it back, so I know it's there. So what I wanted to share with you today is I brought a paradigm. It's basically a chakra alignment tool. It's a very kind of, there's a lot to it. My friend August Worley built and designed it. He was in a group meditation and he got this major download from other worlds. And so basically what I want to do is I want to start out and just do like maybe 4 really good deep breaths, like so. And I've been practicing like this Avesa, kind of know, you guys, anybody know the Avesa breathing? You basically, when you breathe in, you say Ave, and then when you breathe out, you say Sa, and it's a visible Sa, okay? We'll do 4 of those, and then I'm just gonna walk over here, and then we're gonna go through, and this basically, you'll feel it as well, as it has a particulate stream, so it's a light, physioacoustical, and also has light, so it brings together these 3 elements, and as Tesla said, everything is frequency. And so what this can do is if you've got any blockages in any of your chakral vortexes and stuff, it's actually a sympathetic resonance generator, so it actually can cleanse and kind of break up all this stuff. So if you feel some stuff moving around, just breathe through it and then smile your way through it. That's what I like to do. Okay, so we'll do all 4 breaths. So when we take our first deep breath in, just like kind of visualize the words Ave, and then when we exhale, like have a audible Sa. Hey, Sa. Okay? Okay, here we go.
I'd like to introduce our guest speaker this morning, Reverend Brian Crissey, fellow ADL minister who's done so much for the Alliance of Divine Love. I'm so glad that you said yes.
My pleasure. I'll take the mic. Welcome. Can you hear me? Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. Things come in threes. We've had two stories about distant fathers, emotionally uninvolved. I'll have to add a third one without going into great detail. I had a father like that too, He was 48 when I was born. He was himself born the last year of the 18th century, 19th century, 1899. He was from a different world, and growing up with him, which relates to the talk this morning, he was what you might call judgmental. Children were to be seen and not heard. Take that out of here. He didn't want to hear any back talk. If he judged that you were bad for whatever reason, well, that's the truth. And if I were to argue with him, then punishment follows that. So I don't ever remember him saying I love you to me either. Although he had plenty of Norman Vincent Peale, power of positive thinking. Yay, we're all happy, aren't we? About him. You couldn't argue with that either. Okay. So, in any case, his father